So good. Happy Friday to those on the East Coast. If you're in Australia, Hong Kong, Singapore, happy Saturday morning. I have this opportunity to go into the heart space. We've been studying the sutras, and we explain Hanuman is one of the example of a bhakti yogi, and in his heart is Sita Ram. So let's go into the heart space today with the Sita Ram mantra. Bring the spine tall, palms on the knees, touch the tip of the thumbs, tip of the index fingers. Close the eyes softly. Sitaram, 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 Sitaram. Keeping the spine tall. Bring the whole body into stillness. Kaya Styram, stillness of the body. Take the awareness to the right foot, toes to the heel, right foot is still. To the left foot is solid. To the entire right leg, toes passing the calf, the knee, the thigh to the right hip girdle. The entire right leg is immovable. To the entire left leg, toes to the hip. The entire left leg is stable. To the pelvic floor, the glutes, the lower back, the front of the pelvis. The entire pelvic floor is cemented. To the entire back, from the glutes to the shoulders, the entire back is still. To the right hand, fingertips to the wrist, right hand is steady. To the left hand is solid. Take your awareness to the entire right arm, fingertips passing the wrist, the forearm, the elbow, the upper arm to the right shoulder blade. The entire right arm is stable. To the entire left arm, fingertips to shoulders, entire left arm is immovable. To the neck is motionless. To the head is completely still. Take your awareness to the entire body and imagine the entire body is like a statue, immovable, stable. As the physical body moves into stillness more and more as time progresses, let's work on quieting the mind. Liberate the mind into the present moment. Become aware of your natural breath at the entrance of the nostrils. You're not controlling it, you're just being aware of it moving in and out. Witness every breath with awe and reverence, as if it is the first time you are breathing. This amazing breath is our backdrop to life. The only way the brain is active is because of the breath. The only way our circulatory system is active is because of the breath. The digestive system, the excretory system, the limbic system, all these systems are only active because of the respiratory system. Sensitize the mind a little bit more, see if you can identify the slight temperature change of the breath. The incoming breath is slightly cooler. The outgoing breath with the body's heat is slightly warmer. Quiet the mind a little bit more. Bring your awareness to the breath in the rib cage. Try not to alter the movement of the rib cage. Just witness it. As we inhale, the rib cage naturally makes a small movement up and out. As you exhale, the rib cage naturally makes a small movement in and down. Keep the mind in the present moment on the breath in the rib cage now. Let's quiet the mind a little bit more. Bring the focus of the mind to the breath in the abdomen. Try not to alter the movement of the abdomen, just witness it. As we inhale and exhale, the abdomen naturally makes a small movement out and in. Other thoughts want to enter the mind. That is natural. Don't fight the thoughts. Recognize they have come in. And then bring your focus back to the breath. Keep the mind in the present, and the breath in the abdomen now. Bring the focus of the mind back to the breath at the entrance of the nostrils. And I want you to passively witness the 4 parts of the breath. There is an inhalation, followed by a split-second retention inside, followed by an exhalation, followed by a split-second retention outside, followed by an inhalation again. Keep witnessing the 4 parts of the breath now. And instead of being a passive witness of the 4 parts of the breath, let's actively control the 4 parts of the breath by equalizing the breathing pattern. Move with me, my pace. Inhale slowly, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath in, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale slowly, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath out, 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath in. Continue this ratio for the next couple minutes. If counts of 4 is too strenuous for your lungs, decrease it to counts of 3. Counts of 4 is too easy for your lungs, increase it to counts of 5. Everyone has different lung capacity, your pace. No strain whatsoever. After the next exhalation, bring the breath back to normal breathing. Keep your gaze in the center of the eyebrows. Yogis refer to it as the Chida, Kash, the space. Chida, the mind space. You, the spiritual being, the Atma, that's projecting the consciousness behind the forehead into the mind. We're going to harness the concentration power of the mind with our psychic counting. We're going to count backwards from 100 to 0 in threes. If you lose count, start all over again from 100. So you'll go from 100 to 97, 94, 91, downwards. Try not to lose count. If you lose count, start from 100 again until you can reach 0. Let's go together. See the number 100, 97, 94. Continue at your pace to 0. Very good. Remember which number you're at. And now move your focus. Let's project the consciousness into the heart space. Yogis call it Hridayakash, the space of the heart. Bring your awareness behind your breastbone, that beautiful space between the breastbone and the backbone. The space from the lower rib to the shoulders. And as you inhale, you feel this beautiful space expands. As you exhale, the heart space contracts. Inhaling, the heart space expands. Exhale, the heart space contracts. Stay in this space for the next couple minutes with the breath. After the next exhalation, I want you to now sensitize the consciousness and identify the heartbeat. From the 25th day after the first major yoga took place, the sperm and the egg meets, the 25th day after that, we have our first heartbeat continuously up to now. Find the heartbeat in the heart space. Boom, boom, boom. And right in that heart space, that heartbeat, resides the true spiritual being whom we are, the Atma. And from there, we spread our consciousness over this whole body from head to toe. Just as the sun spreads its rays over the whole universe, our spiritual beings spread consciousness over our whole micro-universe from head to toe. The heart space allows us to tap into the natural qualities of the Atma, the spiritual being. As you resonate with your higher self, you contemplate the powerful word eternal, eternality. The Atma in Sanskrit is described as Satchitananda. Sat, it is eternal. Before this universe existed, you existed. Before this earth existed, you existed. Why is that? Because we are parts and parcel of God. God is eternal, we are eternal. Just contemplate, wow, you are always existing. Our temple that we're animating, our body, took birth, grows, it dwindles, and that dies. But the true spiritual being that's hearing my voice, in your beautiful spiritual space, natural space, you are eternal. Another quality of our higher self is we are Ananda. We are always spiritually happy. As we extrovert our consciousness into the three-dimensional realm with the senses, the eyes, the ears, the nose, we do get pleasure through the senses. I want you to recognize sometimes when you are happy through the senses, maybe you tasted something, you saw something, you heard something, you became happy. And as you witness that happiness, you recognize that happiness you got from the food or from the sight, it only lasted for a while. It came to an end. There's another type of happiness, it's called spiritual happiness. That's when we do something not just through the senses, but when we use our gifts to bring happiness to others when you do acts of compassion. Remember an act of compassion you did that gave you it naturally. You don't have to think about it. When you did a compassionate act, a different type of happiness you experience from within. That happiness is slightly different from the pleasures from the senses because you're thinking of another living entity. It's a selfless act. Because we're naturally pleasure seekers, we want to reflect, do more acts of selfless service. There's nothing wrong with us getting happiness through the senses, but we want to moderate the senses. Don't overeat, don't undereat, don't overlook, don't underlook. But as we use the happiness from the senses, we also want to cultivate more and more of the inner happiness, selfless happiness, actions of selfless happiness. That eternal happiness exists in us because we are parts and parcel of God, and God is eternally blissful. We can connect to that eternal bliss when we start to do selfless act to God's creation, to other living entities who are extension of God. God puts people in suffering in our pathways so we can connect to them and raise to the higher self, that love from serving others. As you recognize a time when you did that act of love, recognize that the hand of God was involved to put those people, that situation there, to allow you to tap into this higher frequency. The more we do selfless actions, we start to cultivate this inner powerful emotion of love. Yogis recognize we must first love ourselves before we can start to express that love outwards. Recognize the times in your day where you take out ample amount of time, 15 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, an hour of your day for your inner purification. The self-love is expressed through your time to study, sometime to meditate, sometimes to relax, sometimes to just be with your higher self, sitting in the presence of divinity. The yogis understood our body, our temple, our covering. When we look in the mirror, we see our body. It's made up of elements, earth, water, fire, air, ether. It's mutated from our karmic reactions. When we were babies, the body looked one way. As a teenager, it looks another way. The body is changing. As we come into adult, the body changes again. And as the body starts to dwindle, the body changes. But if we're developing this inner love for our higher self and to serve others, then we'll use the human form to the fullest ability. We'll be able to age with self-love, gracefully, loving ourselves from inside. We will be able to keep our temple pure. The self-love from inside will manifest and spread through the cells, spread through the limbs. We'll be able to look in the mirror and recognize our karmic reaction, our karmic destination in this human form. I did the best that I could, serving others, serving myself, serving God. For the next couple of minutes, just sit in stillness, in quietness, in that heart space where that heartbeat is. And recognize that heart is beating, that pure love you have for yourself, self-love, is spreading throughout the whole organism as it travels from the heart. Boom! The self-love spreads to all the trillions of cells of your bones, your skin, your tissues, your organs. Love from the heart spreading. And love is a high frequency emotion. Once you have that self-love, it raises the vibration, it heals the cells, heals the mind, heals the intellect. That self-love grows more and more when we recognize we're in this incarnation, not alone, but we have a companion right next to us who's expressing unconditional love to us, Lord in the heart. That unconditional love comes through the planets, the sun, the moon, the water, the earth, the food, everything is provided for us, unconditional love. Sit in quietness with the deity in your heart space now. Feeling the love you get from God continuously, uninterruptedly. Very good. Let's leave the heart space and project our consciousness back into the Chittakash, that space behind the eyebrows. And as you gaze into the mind space, I want you to mentally repeat the Sankalpa. I am an ambassador of selfless love. I am an ambassador of selfless love. And see yourself doing an act of selfless love for the planet. in the near future, maybe in the next week or the next month. Let the vision go and then bring your focus back to your amazing breath at the entrance of the nostrils. And as you feel the breath coming in, you recognize this is God's unconditional love to us, this amazing breath. None of us can make oxygen and nitrogen and hydrogen. It's a gift to us. Take a deep inhalation. Exhale slowly. Bring the breath back to normal. And again, as we're going to externalize the consciousness to the outside world, we want to take those deep realizations we have from the inner world to the outside world, so we can share the love from within to others, selfless beings. Move the fingers slowly. Bring the palms to the heart, balancing the solar energy, which is in your right palm, to the lunar energy, which is in your left palm, as they touch into the heart space, connecting to the heartbeat. Lower the head towards your higher self, that loving, selfless being whom you are, towards Paramatma, the Lord in the heart. Namaste. Lift the head, open the eyelids. Hari Om Tat Sat. Thank you all so much for joining the group today. Meditating together, we inspire each other to go deeper, evolve. Hope you all have a beautiful Friday evening, and I'll see you tomorrow for the prana.
Thank you,
Thank you so much, Nan.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Shifumi.
Thank you, Yogi.
Thank you, Jenny.
Thank you, Yogi.
Thank you, Orit.
Thank you.
Thank you, Helen.
Thank you, Yogi.
Thank you, Athena.
Thank
Thank you, Constantina.
Haribol, thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Sane from Sydney.
Thank you, Yogi. Karen, Washington, New Jersey.
Thank you, Yogi Charu. Hari Om Tat Sat.
Hari Om Tat Sat. Thank you, Noreen.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mahalo, Mia.
Thank you, Yogi Charu.
Thank you, Maggie from Texas.
Thank you, Yogi Charu.
Thank you, Juan from Sydney, Australia.
Wow, I wish I was living there.
Mahalo, Greg. Thank you, Christine. Thank you, Astrid.
Thank you, Yogi Charu. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Janet. Thank you, Jennifer.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ricky. Thank you, Vanessa. Thank you, Alexandra. Thank you, Jeffrey.
Thank you.
Hari Om. Thank you, Susan.
Thank you, Yogi Charu.
Hari Om Tat Sat.
Hari Om.